All right, so this video is going to be extremely important. So 1090 Jake's best friend, King Brizzy from Fort Myers, Florida, has recently been declared a snitch after his paperwork surfaced online. And this came as a surprise to a lot of people since 1090 Jake's supposed to be this like rat slayer of the internet. He exposes anyone who's even slightly notable for snitching. And so his best friend, King Brizzy, is now a known rat scoundrel, but we haven't seen a video from 1090 Jake about it, further exposing him. But it does appear that 1090 Jake and King Brizzy have unfollowed each other on socials, and it looks like 1090 Jake just posted on his story that he's working on a big case, and it looks like it's going to be about King Brizzy. So Jake obviously has no choice but to make the video, otherwise he's not going to be standing on business. And so he, it looks like, has turned on King Brizzy, which is really devastating for him because he idolizes King Brizzy. He worships him. He wants to be King Brizzy. And I'm going to show you evidence of that. And this is all alleged. This is all just my opinion. But I want to show you guys some very interesting clips that I think tell a story. And it's about 1090 Jake stealing stories from other people and this King Brizzy guy doing the same thing, or maybe 1090 Jake stealing from King Brizzy. I don't know. But these clips were very concerning to me, and I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, starting with the first clip. So for this first clip, I want to show you 1090 Jake explaining that he knew who King Brizzy was in prison. He knew where he was located. He knew all about him. He was a huge fan of his while they were locked up.
I didn't know you inside of prison. I just knew of you. But there was a time when we were in confinement together at Lancaster. I was upstairs. I believe you were on the bottom tier. And you were getting on the door rapping and singing. And that was the first time I heard your music.
Wow, so 1090 Jake knew all about King Brizzy. He knew his location, he knew his whereabouts, he knew his name, he knew his cell. What the fuck kind of weird obsession did 1090 Jake have with this guy is what I'm wondering. He's like, that was the first time that I heard your music and it really changed me. It made me feel some type of way about inside my body. My dick started getting hard. And so this is really fucking weird, homoerotic. And so they're talking about this song that King Brizzy made up, and it's just the shittiest fucking song. It's so cringe, but not to 1090 Jake. 1090 Jake is glazing over this song. He loves this song. This is his favorite song ever. And I'd like to play you a little bit of this. Now, this is very cringe. Okay, cringe warning here.
Silent, sweet one. All you niggas know I catch you slipping, I'm creeping, reaping what you sow. I am a demon. You know that I am a demon. Remember the nights roaming around but being cautious, cause I've committed sins I gotta deal with in the coffin. It's written in blood. It's the conspiracy of silence.
All right, so that song fucking sucks. He's singing in this weird like scante singing voice. I mean, this was really terrible. And Jake's acting like this was fucking amazing. His voice was amazing. I am a demon. I mean, what a fucking joke, right? And look at it. Who is this guy? Who's this guy standing behind him like he's in charge of it? He's the boss. He looks like he's getting ready to do some fucking. And so that was the song. And this is important because this shows how stupid the whole story truly is. Now, this is going to get crazy. This next part is this where it gets good. 1090 Jake is about to go into the cutting stories. When I was locked up, I got cut in my face. I got cut here. And everyone that hit me got hit. And I was he's the great white blood. He was getting cut. He was cutting. And that was what was always fascinating to me about Jake's stories is that everyone was always getting cut and slashed superficially. No one ever got stabbed, it seemed like. No one ever had to get, flown out to a trauma center to get exploratory surgery for getting shanked 12 times in the shower. Everyone's just sneaking up on each other and gently cutting them. So they're not trying to like delete anyone, if you know what I mean. They're trying to just inconvenience them with minor cuts. So this next clip is going to be 1090 Jake asking a bizarre question, by the way. He says, when was your first time cutting somebody? And wait until you hear the idiotic lie story that comes out of this guy's mouth. This King Brizzy tells the stupidest story. Listen to this.
Your first time cutting somebody. For me, we watch TV, movies, this and that, video games, it's guns, guns, guns. But now in this new element is razors, knives. How was the experience for you?
It was
So there was never any knives in movies. It was all guns, 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 no knives. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm surprised he hasn't seen American Me. He's so obsessed with this prison shit.
How was the experience for you?
It was
You were nervous
an
and shit?
adrenaline rush. Yeah. My first.
Okay, what is so funny? What is it? Were you nervous and shit? There's nothing funny about this. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of someone who's talking to a girl. What? This reminds me of like this sort of, there's nothing funny. He's like almost flirting with the guy. He's like, what was your first time? Like, were you nervous? I mean, what is that? I mean, that is 100% flirting. This is like that sounds like what P Nice sounds like.
Yeah. My first.
So listen to this story that King Brizzy gives about how he cut someone in prison. This is really stupid.
Yeah. My first one was, bro, that shit was so crazy because I had to creep up on dude while he sleep, grab his face, and yank down.
Oh, you got him while he was sleeping?
I caught him while he was sleeping.
Open bay dorm?
Yeah, open bay dorm. At that time, we were going through it with the cutthroat.
So he snuck up on another guy while he was asleep and grabbed him by the face and then cut him in the face. That doesn't make any sense. Why are you grabbing him by the face to get him to hold still? He's asleep. What? So this is a made-up story. This sounded good in his head. He's like, yeah, I'll act like I grabbed him by the face and then I cut him. That doesn't make any sense. It like when you're that stupid and you think of something like that to reenact, you're bound to get into trouble.
I mean, so that's how that shit went. But that shit was crazy. The first cut. After that, I broke in.
Yeah, you were good after that.
After that, I broke in. I was
so
straight.
you didn't get caught for that first one?
Nah. I ain't get caught for a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Like what I said though, the first cut, that was crazy. But I was straight after that. What do you mean you were straight after that? I don't understand. Can you explain why the first cut was so crazy? Was that your first time doing violence? So now that we're talking about cuts, I want you guys to listen to this clip about King Brizzy talking about getting slashed in the face. Now, we all know that 1090 Jake famously got slashed in the face when he was walking to the chow hall. Now, I want you to listen to King Brizzy's story about getting slashed in the face and listen to how strikingly similar the two stories are. Listen to this. It's almost like Jake stole this story and told it as his own.
So where'd you get cut at?
I got cut at something, going to the chow hall. I got a cut right here.
And how did that play out?
I mean, he cut me, but I beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Tell you that, but I beat the shit out of him.
When you got cut, did you feel it?
Nah, not immediately. I felt it after, like.
Yeah, I didn't feel it either.
Yeah, your adrenaline
So the
go to.
question that I have here is Jake stealing King Brizzy's story, or are they both stealing someone else's story? Because these guys both seem like they're full of shit.
When you got cut, did you feel it?
Nah.
The face, I didn't feel pain, nothing. It was just like this.
Then going to the chow hall, I got a cut right here.
You know what I mean? So I walked in the chow hall, start going down the stairs, boom, I get hit.
With a person that I ain't even know was pretty much a big dog in their own little group.
The head homie comes over, he comes to my cell. Come to find out who I'm speaking with is from Tampa.
And who was the gang that they were tied flags with?
The Sureños, 13s.
And you didn't like them?
Oh, we tied flags. No, the fuck we not. Why the fuck are we tied flags?
So as you can see at this point, there is no shortage of similarities between these two and their stories, and it's deeply concerning. And that brings me to my next point, which is that I believe that the cut that Jake has on the side of his face in this photograph is self-inflicted. What? I believe that Jake put this cut on the side of his face purely to get his picture taken with a cool-looking cut on his face. This is a very cinematic cut. So it's very suspicious to me. He says that he was cut from behind. I would expect a more horizontal, a more disorganized cut. This is a very, like I said, very cinematic cut that makes him look really cool. And he's very proud of the photo, obviously. And he knew that every compound you go to, every new prison you go to, you get a new picture taken. So what he did was, in my opinion, was right before he got transferred, he slashed his own face, and then he fucking went to the new place, got a new photograph so that he could have a dope-ass wristband. Does that make sense? So I want to play you Jake explaining that he knows the whole deal. Listen to this.
And that's how I have the picture of me with the fresh 3-day cut on my face, because every new compound you hit, they take a picture. So I use that picture when I started my channel. It's the only picture that exists of me at 19 years old.
Wow.
And you can see the 7-inch cut, they measured it.
And so I'm just highly suspicious of this cut. Like if he got cut like from directly in front of him and the person like just raked down with the blade, then yeah, sure, it could go vertical. But if you're behind someone, how do you'd really have to reach around there. That's really incredible. Or maybe it's all just bullshit. So I want to play you a little bit more of King Brizzy telling crazy lie stories that just don't add up. Listen to this fucking story.
You got to think I'm drenched down. Complete blood.
Yeah.
So when it drench down, I run upstairs. I go grab my lock. Now I got my lock in my finger. So they trying to rush me into the room because I ain't gonna lie, I was going with a bang.
Yeah.
So now when they come into the room though, they see the police coming in. So when the police coming in, they run downstairs, but I'm chasing them now. So when I go down there, the police trying to like, Rivera, stop, get on the ground. Me personally, I ain't getting on no ground. You gotta spray me, you gotta tackle me, you gotta do all that fly shit.
Yeah.
So I end up just rocking out.
Wow, so he's like the most savage, most ruthless, and most vicious champion. He's fighting everyone. He's fighting the cops. He refuses to get down. He's just a major hero. And it just sounds like total like nonsense. And Jake's just like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. To me, it just sounds like bullshit. You know what I mean? Like these types of stories. And now that King Brizzy allegedly, according to this paperwork, is a notarized snitch at this point, we can't believe a word that he says. And the fact that Jake vouched for him so much and was such close friends with him, I mean, how could you not pick up the vibes? You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a bad look for 1090 Jake to have vouched for him so heavily and, like, to me, in my opinion, base his life on his. I mean, that's insane. So I cannot wait to see this upcoming video from 1090 Jake exposing his good friend and idol and the person he bases his life on, in my opinion. And it's going to be a very good episode, so I hope everyone tunes in for that. And so we're left with the question of, will King Brizzy retaliate against 1090 Jake and expose 1090 Jake's lie stories that he had in prison? Remember, they were in prison at the same time, in the same prison during the same time. And so King Brizzy probably has dirt on 1090 Jake that we don't know about that he may expose. So I'm very interested to see if King Brizzy will strike back. Until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next video.